So, welcome to the Subversive Ditch podcast. I'm gonna try to do this without any cuts, so that's just gonna be like that now. I thought I would do like a little video where I talk about what I spun during Tour de Fleece. I'm like an exceptionally beginner spinner. And yeah, I do have a wheel. It's a second-hand one, maybe from the 1970s. It looks a little bit like an Ashford Traveller, but I don't think it is that. And like maybe I shouldn't have done this as my first wheel. I also don't have like one of those things to use to ply it, which from the yarn that I made with my spinning wheel you can tell, and I didn't kind of realize that properly until I did it. So yeah, like this is definitely going to be like very beginner, so please don't judge me for my total lack of knowledge and experience, and you know, I'm not making good yarn yet at all. Oh, my name is Anna Marie, so yeah, sorry about that. I guess you should be wearing like knitted something to make a video like this, but I'm way too hot, so but yeah, so I just thought I would show you like what I made during that time, what I made them from, and just kind of like a bit about my experience, because basically I would say it was very joyful. So I did do some spindle spinning as well as spinning on my wheel, so I'll move back. But like I actually went into this thinking I would do the majority of spinning on my wheel, but then didn't, and instead did, I would say, the majority of spindle spinning, and like that's partially because I've had this spindle longer, so I had already kind of been trying it out, but like I hadn't really been enjoying it very much or being very successful, and definitely not consistently successful. I don't mean with consistency, because I'm still absolutely terrible with that, but I literally just mean with like just keeping going, which obviously when you're like learning something new, you kind of have, that's what you have to do to get better at it, you know. So I did buy this spindle just with like some wool. Ignore this, that's not part of it. Which is two, let's see, so the grey, what even is this? I think these are just from like earlier experiments, I guess, with it, but I don't really know. Yeah. But the grey is Jacob's, and the white is Swaledale. And so yeah, I literally just bought like a spindle with some yarn so that I could have a go. Those are not necessarily especially good yarns to like start. Those are not especially, or did I say yarn? I mean wool, like yeah, wool tops. Those aren't especially good sheep to like begin with, because they don't have especially long fibers. What's the word? Anyway, you know, hopefully you get what I mean. So then for this, it's going to be a bit of a mess, I guess, but yeah, so for this in order to get better at spinning, I also just bought, when I did actually get this, I got some of this fleece or tops, which is Corriedale, and Corriedale is supposed to have, it'd be really good for beginner spinners because it has, what is the word for that? Now I can't remember. It has long, you know, yeah, it has long fibres, which makes, yeah, it just much easier to be a beginner and spin with, both as a drop spindle and on a wheel. So yeah, that's one of the wools that I was using to make things out of. So I ended up making 4 skeins, which I will go through. So this was my first one. and I did drop spindle this. You know, it's very, I mean, all of these are, but I get this one is probably the worst, aside from maybe the like spinning wheel made one. And yeah, so there's definitely bits that are very overspun, but like it was also cool that like I did manage to make it overspun, and also obviously like a lot of it is like very different in size. And so I used the Corriedale for it, and I got this special Tour de Fleece special like tops from John Arbon Textiles. It's literally called Tour de Fleece 2024 Les Sommets, which is 45% Falklands Merino, 29% Corriedale, 17% alpaca, and 9% silk. And yeah, it's this lovely blue, various shades of blue mixture, it's like the summits, isn't it? And like it's because it's the blue, or it's like the line that was used. Anyway, whatever. People mostly don't really care about the Tour de France, I think, who participate in this. Much more about the spinning. But yeah, so that's the blue, and then the other, the like red and orangey bits of this are from this, which I guess I should have opened, which is Down the Allotment Scotch Bonnet, a 2023 special from John Arbon Textiles, which is 33% Merino, 33% Blueface Leicester, and 33% Jacob. I only have like a little bit left of this, but this is what it looks like, you know, although I guess this bit is a bit, anyway, whatever. So yeah, you know, I mean, it's just very exciting to me, honestly, to be able to make like not good yarn, but like actually, you know, usable, or like it's not, you know, I mean, it's not breaking, it's like actually it exists in the world, you know. That's pretty cool. So yeah, there's this one, and I was just kind of grabbing bits and like bits from each different type of wool that I had. Like I wasn't very careful about what I was doing. I was just kind of experimenting, which is really the sort of main thing for all of this experience for me with Tour de Fleece. The next skein that I made with the same three, but I actually also used the Jacobs and the Swaledale from this, and you know, I think there's definitely still thick and thin. It's definitely still, you know, not good, but I think unlike with this, I'm not sure if you can actually see, but there is a lot of overspinning with this one, which has been slightly better since I, you know, wet it and then thwacked it and then just let it rest and stuff, but this one didn't have so much to begin with, and I do feel like it's quite, again, still very bad, but it's like much more steady in that sense, as a yarn, and yeah, I'm also fairly happy with how some of it is looking, and yeah, it's just, like I said, it's just very cool. I am like allergic to wool, or allergic to some wool certainly, or at least have some kind of sensitivity, so using the Swaledale and the Jacobs, because of how like they are much like less soft than the others, was interesting, but I didn't feel terrible. But yeah, so yeah, and I was clear that I used my spindle for both of those. I didn't do that very well, but whatever. And then, well, I'm not sure actually if I finish this first or this first, but we'll take a little interlude and talk about my spinning wheel one. So yeah, like I said, this is definitely the worst skein, the worst yarn I made. It's truly a mess, and like, to be honest, I mean, I think it's really sad actually, because I just didn't realise that I needed extra equipment in order to properly ply it, and it was like the final day, and I really wanted to like finish it, so I did, but like I plied it very, very, like, it's, I don't even want to show like up close, it's just so bad, it doesn't even look like it's been plied really fully. But yeah, it's tough. And I mean, basically, I struggle a lot with my spinning wheel, but I am way more of a beginner on it than with my spindle, because I have already done a bunch of like terrible, you know, experiments with the spindle before I started Tour de Fleece. So I definitely have to, you know, give myself some grace with that. I am a bit disappointed in how it came out, but there are some that, like, some singles that look fairly okay. Just, you know, if you ignore that they're in this like complete mess, truly complete mess. So yeah, we won't you know, dwell on this for long. I wonder if there's anything else I want to say about my spinning wheel. I'm definitely looking forward to like getting to know her more. I think I might spin just like all of this Corriedale on her as a way to practice and get better at it, because hopefully it will be easy. And then maybe I could spin the rest of this, because I think I have about half left of 100 grams, which is what I got. And then I could apply the two together, so then it wouldn't be like totally one colour and just white, which would be boring to me. But we shall see. Okay, so now we'll come to the crowning glory of, yeah, was there anything else I wanted to say about this? Yeah, I mean, because, so yeah, I got the spinning wheel secondhand, and it was also a gift, that I found it, and then, you know, somebody covered the cost. I definitely sort of feel like it might do well with somebody who knows about spinning wheels looking over and telling me more about it as much as they can, but I don't know if that's actually possible or if I could find someone. I do have this spinning wheel maintenance kit, which I did get from Ashford, because I felt like they were the closest. And I didn't get them, I guess, but I have one bobbin already in here, and then it came with 2 other bobbins, so I do have 3 bobbins, so that's good. But again, I definitely might need more of this stuff, in which case I'll obviously have to figure out more about it so that I can try to get stuff that fits. But that's a problem for future me. And like, it's not really a problem, you know, I just think like, yeah. So now we come to my favourite thing, and I love it because of the colour, but I also just love it because actually I spun this so well. At least I feel like you can really see my progress. Whether or not it's actually, again, good, is obviously up for question. But yeah, so this is the Down at the Allotment blend that John Arbon did last year, which I have had since last year because I actually bought it to spin on this, and then I just obviously got like a bit obsessed with spindle spinning, so I was mostly spinning on my spindle. And yeah, I just love it. So it's got kind of pinks, oranges and red all mixed in together with a bit of grey. I feel like when I hold them up they just never look very good, but you know, they are quite chunky yarns, obviously, because I can't spindle spin very like thin yet, and definitely not do that consistently. But there's also bits that I just think look so good. Whatever. But definitely like a major improvement. Or not, but I think so. So yeah, I just like enjoyed that process so much, and I definitely felt like it was much easier to spindle spin, and I wasn't kind of breaking the yarn as regularly. And I just deeply enjoyed the process. It's so cool to me. I realised that, like, you know, I mean, most people who participate in Tour de Fleece can make yarn, but it's just so cool to me that I can do that, or at least like I'm learning to do that, and it's a real thing happening, and it's, yeah, just very exciting to me. And there are definitely, yeah, there is, I would say, slightly more conformity in this than in my others, so even if it's still thick and thin, it's not as thin and it's not as thick, if that makes sense. So I'm gradually getting it down to a sort of more, yeah, general state, I say. And I have actually, since Tour de Fleece finished, like spun up the rest of it, or most of the rest of it, on my spindle again, but I haven't wet, like I haven't, what is the word, you know, I haven't like wetted it and flacked it and let it dry and stuff yet. I just have been leaving it out. But yeah, it looks like this. I actually think I've maybe been slightly underspinning, partially because I've been so excited at finishing and I wanted to like spin it all up that I just went fast instead of like not. Because I definitely had more breakage with this lot than with the first one that I made. But yeah, so it looks like this right now, and I need to, yeah, but I think it's, you know, slightly leaning, but it's pretty stable, and again, like, it's not consistent. There's definitely thick and thin bits, but I think overall it's getting more and more consistent. I don't know which one of these I spun first as a batch, but yeah, very happy and excited about that too. And I guess like I have enough kind of to like make something with this, but part of me is like, I don't know that I trust, especially this section of it actually, just because like I said, I think it is a bit underspun, but also it just got crazy to me, like, could I make something with this? I don't know. But then I just love the colours too, and I'm kind of like, I want to make sure that they're shown off properly. I really wouldn't have thought I would have loved like an orangey thing, but I just love how they all combine together, and the orange and the pink together, I think they go really well. Oh, it's kind of like lesbian flag colours without the white, isn't it? Is that right? Yeah. So yeah, I actually also spun up, like on my spindle, a little bit of the Tour de Fleece special blend as well, but this is just on some cardboard as I wait to figure out what I should do with it. Obviously I'll need to ply it with something. Maybe I should try like 3-ply, even though it would be absolutely ginormous considering how, but maybe I should. Oh my gosh, I could use the Swaledale and then do this and then maybe this, and maybe, or maybe I could spin up a little bit more of this, because I did split off this bit which I was going to use on my spinning wheel, but then I just got fed up and stopped where I was and started to ply from then. But I could make like a little bit more out of this and then combine it all together. Much to think about. Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to sort of say and show. Yeah, definitely let me know your thoughts, and if you participated in Tour de Fleece. And oh, I didn't say, but like I basically was inspired kind of just to start spinning like entirely, because I mean I watched like a lot of you know, textile YouTubers who were mostly doing like podcast episodes, and who also spun before I actually started myself. But it was once I started watching Min Walden or Yanta, who her enthusiasm about making textiles and things is fairly infectious. So she kind of led me more and more to have courage to actually try and do these things, and she's definitely the one who like encouraged me, or like who I watched her videos of, and then I felt encouraged enough to get a spindle to try it out, and I'm so glad I did. You know, it's big. Also, I have lots of plans to try to you know, use different kinds of spindles. Like I'd like to try a supported spindle, also like a Turkish spindle, honestly any kind of spindle, and there are so many deeply beautiful spindles out there as well, so like yeah, let's go. And if you want to get me a present, you should get me a beautiful spindle. Yeah, okay, on that note, I think that's everything I wanted to say. I will you know, make another video at some point, maybe on this channel, who knows. But like honestly, if you're here, like, thanks. And yeah, I'll share whatever I have with you whenever I have it with you. Bye.